So my name is Aurel Bacs. Together with my partner, wife, Livia Russo, we founded Bacs & Russo and are now doing auctions with Phillips, hence Phillips in association with Bacs & Russo. So I've got a tray with 6 watches from the styled auction. These are watches that I find particularly interesting. I'm sure you know that it's not just about how many jewels, what's the diameter, and what's the price tag. It's about the story, the rarity, the provenance, sometimes very quirky details that you can't even see unless you look at the watch up close. So let me first take the IWC Portugieser. In 1939, IWC receives a request from their distributor saying, we are looking for a wristwatch that is as precise as a chronometer. IWC said, well, we can do that, but first of all, we will have to include a pocket watch movement. But that, of course, meant it couldn't be as small as a 30-35 millimeter wristwatch was at the time. It's way beyond 40 millimeters. It's seriously big. I think this is a watch that you can wear for a number of occasions. I think it would go extremely well, both formal and casual. I think there's few watches that combine history, craftsmanship, and wearability so beautifully as a original Portugieser by IWC. The next watch here on the tray that I'd like to discuss is this Rolex. A contemporary, classic, timeless watch. Many call it the President's watch, especially in the United States. Technically speaking, not quite correct, because what you call the President is the bracelet. Why is the Day-Date such a great watch? It definitely keeps the movement in the dial protected from water, as it is an oyster. It has already the scratch-proof sapphire crystal. It is a chronometer-rated movement. That means it went to the observatory and was tested. Lastly, it's got the invisible deployment clasp. Invisible because once it is closed, you don't even see how it comes together. Great value. I think I would compare that to a blue blazer that you can wear formal or casual. It's never out of fashion. It's a quality product that will probably survive us easily altogether. The next watch I'd like to show you today is, I think in criminology you would call it the usual suspect. It's a Patek Philippe Nautilus, a watch that is just about to be recognized as a hugely influential watch, needless to say, as contemporary today as when this model was launched in the late 90s. Now, this specific example here has something very special. It's the first one ever made of that series. Its movement number ends with 000. That was the very watch that was shown at the Basel show in 1999 in the showcase on the Patek Philippe stand. So what you have here is timeless Nautilus design, a historically really relevant model of which you've got number 000, and a watch that I think we could have put in any of the 12 categories. Like everybody should at least once feel the pleasure of wearing a cashmere sweater, I think you should once enjoy wearing a stainless steel Nautilus for a day. I'm really happy to make a jump from century-old companies that have already written the history in watchmaking to a relatively young but already very established brand, FP Journe. François-Paul Journe eventually managed to master a phenomena, the resonance phenomena, that many of the world's most famous and influential and important watchmakers struggled to understand and struggled to master for centuries before him. It has, if you want, to some extent, 2 movements. In a nutshell, they are not connected to each other mechanically, but they do resonate amongst themselves. This watch, to me, is what watchmaking, to a large degree, is all about. It is only 3 years old, but already one of the greatest classics of our millennium. I really am delighted to show you this so-called Ultraman Omega Speedmaster. Ultraman, the famous Japanese series from the second half of the 1960s, is why this Speedmaster is called after. It has a very distinct orange chronograph hand. When we turn it around, you still see the famous Speedmaster seahorse, but it has all the features that the Moonwatch, the original Moonwatch, shares, especially the famous Omega caliber 321, which by collectors is one of the greatest Omega chronograph calibers ever made. I think when you go into watch collecting, it's those little details that give you that feeling, wow, this is really special. Maybe one day we'll know more about it, why they were made, and to which markets they were sold. That mystery paired with that special feeling is what makes watch collecting so charming. Where would I wear this watch? Well, definitely I would wear it if going to watch Ultraman in a movie theater in Japan. But I think I would also wear it like Ultraman when saving the world. So the last watch I have the pleasure of presenting to you today is lot 74. Certainly the most valuable watch of my selection here today. It's a Rolex. It's nicknamed Padellone, the big frying pan. And considering it's close to 38 millimeters in size, you will understand why, but also because it's got that very distinct design if you look at it close up with the bezel. Anything can be restored. But once it is restored, you can never bring it back to original, untouched, naturally aged condition. There is something so charming, captivating, sometimes even sexy about it, and I think that watch really displays that. What I like about it, it's wearable. I like about it, it's masculine. This is a watch that will appeal to the connoisseurs who recognize the amazing quality of it, but I think it can also make anyone fall in love with a sense of timeless aesthetics. Condition, originality will have a huge impact on its value. But the very best ones have already achieved north of $500,000, with the top examples reaching the $1 million. The December 5 New York auction called Styled, I'd like to welcome everyone to discover the beautiful world of collector's watches and of fine tailoring, and engage, exchange, learn, and just have a great moment all together.